Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro, and creator of the popular program, How to Get 3 or More Paid Speaking Engagements a Year. Now, I am fired up because today we are going to talk about a surefire way to get more referrals where people actually pay you to speak. And you're like, a surefire way to get more paid speaking referrals? You're like, Brian, hit me with it. All right, so let me take a step back, all right? When you are going out and speaking, people obviously want to be able to you want to have good stuff. They want to see you being able to engage and maneuver and educate and all that other stuff. But there's this other area that they really need to feel that you're doing in order for someone in the audience, 50, 60, 70 people, somebody in the audience to say, you know what, this Hilliard guy looks like somebody who I'd like to bring out and have come and refer him to another deal that I'm doing later on this year. And you know what that simple word is? Connection. Your audience needs to feel a sense of connection to you, okay, as a result of your endeavor. Now you're like, Brian, well, how? Like, these aren't people I even know. I'm speaking. I'm not going to talk to every one of them. How is it that I'm going to get a connection so that that connection turns into them wanting to help me? All right, very simple. You know what it starts with? Stories. All right, you know why? Because when you tell a good story, you're able to lead to solid imagery. When you get solid imagery and you bring the audience into your world, that creates an emotional connection. That creates a degree of emotion that then turns into a connection between them and you. Brian, walk me through it. One of the stories that I talk about, not in the paid to speak, but one of the stories I talk about when I'm talking about like getting clients and stuff like that, is I talk about how I only had $20 in my checking account on 4 separate occasions. That's true. 4 separate times, $20 or less in my checking account. I talk about how I was driving down to Houston without enough money to get back. I talk about how I went to the grocery store on a business card, writing down the money that I was spending so I didn't, overspend and get overdrafts. I talk about how as I'm driving through Louisiana, I'm thinking to myself, I need to make $300 or $400 in book sales. Otherwise, I'm not making it back through this part of Louisiana. That's a story. With that story, I create imagery. Me driving, me in the store writing it down, me, doing that. From that imagery is an emotion. An emotion is elicited. Holy cow, I can't believe this guy is crazy. Man, I'm so glad that wasn't me. Whatever that emotion is. And from that emotion is a connection. And it's that connection that you want to have your audience have. Because from that connection, they're like, boy, you know what? That was a really good talk. And they won't know. They'll be like, oh yeah, well, he definitely educated. It was entertaining and things like that. But boy, I feel like I know him. I feel like I have been through and experienced his struggles. Even though I have him, I feel a connection to him. And you know what? There's actually another group, Brian. I don't know if you're around, but next year I'm a part of the XYZ group. Is that something maybe, I'd like to refer you over there if that's okay? It's exactly how it works, okay? But it doesn't start until you make that connection and allow them to be able to see you and be a part of your world. You just go in there with content, that's good. You just go there with content, that's all you're gonna leave with. You're gonna leave with some books sold and some happy people. But if you want a surefire way to get more referrals for a paid speaking gig, start telling stories that lead to imagery, which elicits an emotion, and that creates a connection. And from that connection, people will come up to you, or if you follow up with them, they will want to actually book you or at least refer you to other groups that they're a part of. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's something that you can see yourself doing. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.